Hello everyone, it's Julia Lefebvre here, founder of the Stronger Community. I'm going to take my glasses off. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm going to take them off because there's always a glare when I have my ring light on. Okay, so hope you're doing well. If you can hear me just let me know in the comments. But if you're hopping on here live with me, say hey. And if you are watching this as a replay, just type the word replay in the comments. You say hi? All right, go sit down and play. Mommy's going to record her video. Okay, so we are going to be talking about the difference between weight loss and fat loss on today's video. So they are not the same thing, and I'm going to share with you what the difference between the two is and how to know you are actually doing one, and what things you need to do to make sure you are doing that. So before I kind of get into it, I just wanted to remind you that the waitlist for Fueled Life is for October is closing soon. You can see over there's some women that are already signed up for the waitlist. That waitlist for October will be closing soon, but there are still a couple of spots left. So make sure if you are interested to get on the waitlist, fill out the application. I will put that in the comments below afterwards so that you can fill that application out and can join us for October. Okay, so we are going to talk about the difference between weight loss and fat loss. And like I said, they are not the same thing. They are two different things. And we're going to talk about how we want to make sure that we're focusing on the right thing and doing the right things to achieve the right one. Okay, so what is weight loss? Weight loss really is your relationship to gravity here on Earth. That simple. So if you get on the scale and you weigh 150 pounds, and then I take you to the moon and you get on the scale, you are going to weigh less. So really it's just your relationship with gravity. Now here's the thing. Our weight is made up of multiple things, right? Bone, fat, muscle, water, all of those things in our body, right? That's really what it is. And so I can weigh myself in the morning and go to the bathroom and I will weigh less. I can also go and drink a big glass of water, then go weigh myself and I weigh more. That is our weight. It's based off of our body, and like I said, it could be bone, muscle, water, fat, all of those things, our hair, right? And so weight can be, I could go and take a poop right now and weigh less and be like, I lost weight. This is why generally our weight in the morning is different than our weight at night, because we have spent the day, we usually have an empty tank, and especially if you've gone to the bathroom, you're going to weigh less. But in the evening, our bodies are filled with more water, more food, and all of that stuff. And so we weigh more in the evenings. It does not mean that you have gained body fat throughout the day. You have not gained body fat. You have gained weight, and it's not a bad thing. Our bodies naturally fluctuate every single day. So understanding weight loss or weight versus fat loss is really important, because we can, like I said, our bodies fluctuate naturally in weight. And here's the thing. So, I've had people who say, well, I did keto or a low carb diet and I lost a lot of weight really quickly. Well, that is because, you've cut out those carbs and your body is not retaining as much water. And so therefore your weight has gone down. But let me tell you, you are not losing fat. That is weight loss. Okay. So it can be manipulated. So understanding how weight can fluctuate and be manipulated is really important to understanding fat loss, because we can manipulate our weight with hydration. Scale can go up. Dehydration, scale can go down. Menstrual cycle, weight can go up. Lack of sleep, weight can go up. So understanding that is that that is normal and natural body process. That is weight loss and weight gain. But we want to talk about fat loss. So do you want to focus on weight or do you want to focus on body fat, right? So the scale will fluctuate, but do you want to lose muscle? Do you want to be dehydrated so that scale goes down? Or do you want to lose inches and burn body fat? Okay. So how do I know if I'm losing weight or losing fat? So generally when people are losing weight, they're only focusing on the scale, right? They weigh themselves, the scale goes down. And so they're like, you're losing weight, right? And like I talked about earlier, we can manipulate that in different ways. So I could do a juice cleanse and lose weight. I could be dehydrated and lose weight. I could get the flu and lose weight. I could take diet pills and lose weight. I could do endless hours of cardio and lose weight. But we are not necessarily losing body fat. So here are ways that you know if you are losing body fat versus weight. So yes, we use, with my clients, it's really important in the Fueled Life, we talk about different ways that we can measure and to ensure that we're losing body fat. And one of the things, yes, we use the scale, we weigh ourselves. That is one form of measurement and not the only form of measurement. So the scale might drop down, and it doesn't necessarily mean you're losing weight and not body fat, but it could go down. It also could stay still. So if you sometimes have done a program and you're like, okay, well, the scale's not moving, this doesn't work. This is why we do some other things. We look at other pieces to make sure that we're losing fat. So one of them is measurements. I make sure that my clients are measuring themselves. We can have the scale stay the same, but oftentimes the measurements will go down, we'll lose inches. That is telling you that you are losing body fat and not just losing weight. So that scale could move, and so could those inches. But if the scale's not moving, but the inches are coming down, that means that you are losing body fat, okay? So another way for you to look at it if you are losing body fat versus losing weight is the pictures. So look at difference in your pictures. So I have clients to make sure they take before and after pictures. This is not, this is just a way for them to see those physical changes that are happening with them losing the body fat. Another one that you can do to make sure that you are losing fat versus weight is clothes. Because with measurements, so I get my clients to take measurements on their arms, their thighs, their hips, their chest, and their waist as well. But those aren't the only places where we have body fat. We have body fat all over, right? All over our body. So when we wear clothes that, maybe you're wearing clothes right now that are a little bit tight, or you have an outfit that's a little bit tight and not feeling as it's feeling a little more snug than usual. Try on that outfit. Try on that outfit every few weeks or whatever. And then if it feels a little looser, then that means that you're losing body fat, right? It could be that because we have body fat, like I said, all over our bodies, it generally, your clothes are going to feel looser. So looking at those different ways, those different types of ways to measure whether you're losing weight or body fat. So weighing yourself, doing those measurements, taking those before and after pictures, looking at how do you feel in your clothes? Do they feel looser? So those are different ways that we can look at it. So like I said before, you can lose weight and not body fat. You could be losing, do you want to focus on losing muscle? Do you want to focus on losing, being dehydrated, doing those things like juice cleanses, excess cardio, being, when you get the flu and all those things, those are ways that we can lose weight, right? So it's pointless to focus on the scale and solely the scale and saying, oh, I'm losing weight, but you're not necessarily losing body fat. So I could be doing a keto diet, cutting out those carbs. I'm retaining less water, right? When we are eating carbs, that is what, our body retains a little bit more water, and that is what makes your muscles pop, right? So if you feel like you are, if you're cutting out those carbs, your body's retaining less water, that means you are going to weigh less, but you are not burning fat. You are losing weight, okay? So I've had people say to me, well, I don't really want to lose weight. I'm not interested in this scale moving, but I would like to be leaner. I want to lose inches. That means that you want to burn body fat, right? So you can burn body fat and the scale won't move, or it could move a little bit, but you are going to lose those inches. So how can we make sure that we are doing the right things in order to lose body fat versus body weight? Yeah, Mommy will answer you in just a minute. Let me finish and then we'll okay, I'll help you. All right, so you want to make sure that you're doing the right things that are going to get you into fat loss versus just that weight loss, right? So how do I make sure that I am in fat loss? 3 things. We want to focus on nutrition, our training, and our cardio. Okay, so the number one thing is you want to prioritize your strength training, because as we go into a slight deficit, and we're in this fat loss phase, we want to make sure that we're preserving the muscle that we have. So we want to make sure that we are building up our muscle and continually working it. So you want to make sure that you are strength training. Prioritize strength training 3 to 5 times a week. We want to make sure if you're not prioritizing that, then you are going to lose muscle. So those women that are, cardio junkies, and maybe they're in a deficit, they're going to lose weight, but they are also going to be losing muscle. They're going to be, and the scale's going to go down, but they're not going to maintain that muscle level. So you want to make sure that you are prioritizing your weight training and strength training 3 to 5 days per week, and sprinkling in the cardio. Okay, so you can still do cardio, go for walks, you can, do your favorite fitness class, you can go for a run, whatever, go for a bike ride, get in your favorite cardio. You can still do cardio, but what you want to make sure you're doing is you're prioritizing that strength training so that you are maintaining that muscle while you are burning fat, and so you're not losing muscle. Okay, nutrition side of it, which is a huge one, and you guys know that my whole goal is teaching women about food quality, teaching women about nutrition, helping women heal their relationship with food, and develop a really healthy relationship with food, while also being able to maintain their muscle and learn to burn fat if they want to, right? So, but it's really about understanding nutrition. I really am passionate about teaching women about food and understanding it too, as well. Not just saying this is what you should eat and whatever, right? So, but nutrition side of it, you need to be in a caloric deficit, end all and be all. If you want to burn fat, if you need to be in a caloric deficit, but you don't have to be in a huge caloric deficit. A slight deficit works. You don't have to go on some crazy 1,200 calorie diet, cut out all these food groups or foods or carbs or anything like that. You are going to lose weight if you go on to those 1,200 calorie diets. You're going to lose weight, but you are not going to be burning fat. So we want to make sure that we are staying in a caloric deficit, a slight deficit, so that we can start to burn fat, but that we are not losing muscle. So that, I have clients that eat, 2,000 calories a day. I have clients that eat 1,500 calories a day. I have people that eat 2,200 calories a day, and that is a deficit for them, and they still burn fat, okay? So it's not some crazy 1,200 calorie diet where you are going to be starving and be just losing the muscle and weight and water and all of that stuff. So weight loss is those things. You're losing water, muscle, and all of that stuff. But when we talk about fat loss, we want to we're maintaining our muscle while burning fat. That is the difference between the two. And you can easily manipulate weight loss, which is in very unhealthy ways. Sure, the scale will go down, but will also go back up because it's not sustainable and it's not maintainable. So this is where you get the yo-yo diet. If you're focusing on weight loss, if you're focusing on fat loss, you're going to burn that fat. You might see the scale go down. You're going to definitely see inches go down. And you're going to maintain that muscle when you're in that fat loss. But it's really important that you focus on these things that I've mentioned so that you are in that fat loss, not over in this weight loss stage, okay? So that is where I talked about you want to make sure that you're strength training 3 to 5 days a week. You want to make sure that you're focusing on your nutrition and in a slight calorie deficit, okay? So you could be eating, 2,000 carbs a day and still be burning fat. You can be eating 100 carbs a day and still be burning fat. It's less to do about carbs and more to do with, what your calorie intake is for the entire day. So making sure that total daily caloric intake is being hit and getting in that food that your body needs for the day to maintain that muscle, but burn that fat. So it's being in a slight caloric deficit. I've had people say, I do way better when I'm eating less carbs. But the next thing they say, like, well, how often do you cut out carbs? And they say, well, I can cut them out for a while and it really works well, but I can't stick to it. Well, that means then it's right. So we want to make sure that we are doing something that is sustainable and maintainable. So if you love carbs, you can eat carbs and still lose body fat. Okay. So we want to, lower carbs make that scale move quickly, but it is not fat loss. Okay, so with my clients in the Fueled Life program, we focus on macros. So the first thing I do is I ask them a lot of questions. They have a pre-assessment that they have to fill in and a form that they have to fill in for me. And then, so then I can calculate what their calories will be to put them in a slight caloric deficit, okay? That's the only way you're going to burn fat. We need to be in a slight deficit, but not these 1,200 calorie BS stuff. You need to be in a slight caloric deficit. You're going to burn that fat. So I will calculate that for them. Then the next thing we look at is I set their protein, how much protein they need to get in. That's really important because we want to make sure that we are repairing the muscle when we're doing our strength training, that we're maintaining the muscle as well and all of that. So protein is really important for that. But then I ask them, what do you prefer, carbs or fats? So then I set their carbs or fats and I can adjust. I have some clients that have higher carbs and some clients that have higher in fats. So I will adjust their macros to meet their needs, but also based off of what their preference is. Because if somebody really loves carbs, I'm going to put them higher in carbs because they enjoy them, right? And also it ends up being something that is sustainable long-term. And you're not going to get that yo-yo because this is what happens on a lot of these low-carb diets or other diet fads out there. It's just not maintainable and sustainable because most women and most people like carbs. And I'm not saying that that's going to be your preference out of carbs and healthy fats, but if you cannot cut out carbs completely, and then if you can't sustain that, you're going to then add them back in, and that's where you get the yo-yo with these yo-yo diet things, right? And so we want to make sure that you are maintaining that weight loss. We want to give you what you really enjoy. So if you prefer carbs, I'm going to give you higher carbs for your macros. If you prefer healthy fats, I'm going to give you more healthy fats when I calculate your macros. And so we want to make sure that it's something maintainable and sustainable for you. So, okay, so we're going to, so with your macros, I give you your total caloric deficit or total caloric daily intake, but it's going to be a slight deficit so that we can burn fat. We're going to focus on protein. We're going to focus on those carbs and healthy fats, but we're going to give you what you prefer. And this makes it much more sustainable. Okay, so that's the difference really between weight loss and fat loss, right? So most people, when they come to me and say, I want to lose weight, I want to be leaned and toned. Well, that you're telling me, I want to burn fat. I want to lose fat, not weight. I want to lose fat. That's the difference. And understanding that is really important. The difference between weight loss we can manipulate. And this is why we get the yo-yo, because our weight is constantly fluctuating. It will constantly fluctuate based off me having a glass of water, me going for a poop, getting sick and having the flu. I had food poisoning earlier this year and I lost weight. I didn't weigh myself, but I could visibly, I was much leaner. And I had people say, oh, wow, you look like you've lost weight. You look so good. I'm like, I was sick. This is not a positive thing. So we can manipulate and have the scale go down, but I didn't lose body fat. I lost weight, not body fat, weight. So understanding the difference between the two and understanding how to properly lose body fat is really important. So if you're wanting to lose inches, if you're wanting to be leaned and toned, we want to focus on fat loss versus weight loss and ditch that yo-yo dieting BS and focus on fat loss. So it's really important in our Fueled Life program that we focus on that strength training along with our nutrition that is going to help us make sure that we are maintaining that muscle while burning fat. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments below. Again, I wanted to remind you that the Fueled Life program waitlist is closing soon for October, so make sure to get on the list. I will put the link in the comments for the application. You can apply there. Applying does not hold you a spot. It holds you a spot, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you are in or not. We want to make sure that this is the right program for you and you're a good fit and that we are a good fit for each other. So make sure that you fill out that application to get on the wait list so that you don't miss out for October. But if you have any questions about weight loss, fat loss, just put them in the comments below and we will go from there. I'll be answering those questions for you. And I'll just give you guys a minute to put those questions in there. And if anything comes up and you're watching this as a replay, just put the replay, just put your question in anyway, and I will respond to the questions in the comments there as well. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. And again, if you have any questions that come up, just post them in the comments and we will go from there. All right, you guys have a great rest of your Friday and a great day, and we will chat soon. All right, bye.